We are heading into the international break, but before that happens, we're going to recap Match Week 3. We're also going to cover some Soccer 101 rules for our matchup participants to help them out. And as we recap their weeks with their teams, we're going to answer a couple of questions that have come up for them as well that might be useful to other new soccer/football fans. We will hear from Emily and Nick with So Here's What Happened, an update on Manchester United, and we will get the Real recap from Grandma. As always, Chase and I will update everyone on our teams, Liverpool and Barcelona. So stick around, here we go. This is My Mom Calls It Soccer. I'm Michelle.
I'm Chase. I call it football.
And we are going to jump right into some Soccer 101 tips for our matchup participants who are new to the game and any other people who might be watching who are new to the game. And so I wanted to start off by talking about the handball. Obviously, even as somebody who doesn't know a lot about the sport coming into it, I know you can't touch the ball with your hand.
You're right.
But I think it's a little bit more complicated than that as to when it's called, and then also what is the penalty if you do it. So, what is it?
So a handball in the rules would be if your hand's like out here, the ball's kicked and it hits your hand.
Okay.
They'll call a foul. If it was in the penalty box, it's an immediate penalty and a possible yellow card.
Okay.
If it was like an explicit handball, like you meant to do that, then it's a red card.
Okay.
And possibly a penalty if it's in the box. But if your hand's like right here and it hits you, they won't really call it a handball. They might call it back.
Okay.
Like they might call like a drop ball or a free kick.
Okay.
But even if it's in the penalty box, they won't call a penalty because you can't do anything about your hand being there.
Okay.
So
I think, and Grandma will talk about this, I think in the Real Madrid game, there was a goal called back.
that was disallowed, yeah.
Okay, because not when the actual goal was kicked in, but like right before it, there was a handball.
Yes.
Is that right? And so they called it. So if the game is playing and it's inadvertent like that, and they didn't mean to hit it with their hand and it doesn't really affect anything going on with the play, then they just won't call it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
But if they inadvertently hit it and something happens that does affect the play, then they'll like stop and then they'll just drop the ball and give it to the other team. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's only a red card if you tried to hit it with your hands. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you are like just...
But if you are in a yellow card, it could be a double yellow card. So.
Okay. So if you already have a yellow card as a player and then you accidentally hit the ball with your hand and they decide to give you a yellow card for that.
That could be a double yellow.
What makes them decide, hey, this is one we're going to give a yellow card on?
I think it matters on the on how bad of a handball it is. If it's pretty easily avoidable, I'd say they probably card it.
Like you shouldn't have had your hand where it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Most of the time they don't card accidental handballs though.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. So handball. We learned about that. Very good. Now it's time to check in on how the matchup is going. We are 3 weeks into the season with our participants having a team to follow and be involved with. And in talking to some of our participants, there are some questions that are coming up that I think that we can answer. And again, like many things that I tell people, if you are a longtime football fan, this is going to be elementary for you.
Right.
But in being somebody new coming into the game and really wanting to connect, it can be confusing. So one of the things I want to talk about, how we have our people matched up, what leagues their teams are in, so they kind of understand that. So we have Abby B, who has Borussia Dortmund, and we have Brad, who has Bayern Munich. So they are both following teams in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Okay. And their teams will play against each other twice, right?
Yeah.
In the regular season. Okay. Then we have Jamie. And then we also have Grandma and Chase, who are in La Liga. So Jamie is following Real Madrid, Grandma is following Real Madrid, and Chase is following Barcelona. It's almost like they're teaming up against you. So, but they are all playing in La Liga. And so Real Madrid and Barcelona will play each other twice in league, correct? and then also in some cups, which I'm going to talk about that as well. And then Rita and Josh, who have both chosen Arsenal, Carol, who is following Liverpool, I am following Liverpool, and then Abby O, who has chosen Aston Villa, are all in the Premier League. So all of those teams are going to play each other twice in league, and then also potentially in some cups, which are also tournaments. So that is one question I've gotten from people is, hey, I'm supporting Bayern Munich. Am I going to play Liverpool? Well, not in league play. They're not. So what we're watching now, we are 3 weeks into regular season league play. Okay. The other thing is there are cups, which is in the United States, we would call those tournaments. A cup is basically a tournament, and every league has cups that are going on while league is going on. So right now, the Carabao Cup is going on in English Premier League, correct?
Well, also the FA Cup. They're both going on, but just for the lower division teams.
So confusing. Okay, so you have two tournaments going on.
You have multiple rounds for the lower division teams, and the higher division teams then start stepping into it. And then the Premier League teams go from like low table to mid table to then high table.
And that's in the FA Cup. Okay.
Both, so like the FA Cup started in like summer.
Okay, so the FA Cup has been going on, but the Carabao Cup is also going on.
And it's like more through it.
And the Carabao, when did the Carabao Cup start?
What back in like summer, maybe even before then. So.
And so in the Carabao Cup, does it do the same thing that it starts with the lower level teams, or does everyone start playing at once?
Oh, it starts with the lower level teams.
So why, and we'll get an update on this from Nick and Emily, but why was Man United already playing in the Carabao Cup? Because they're so low.
They were 15th place in the Premier League.
So
that's why I said low table to mid table.
So
it's like even Burnley played in the Carabao Cup around there.
So we have leagues, we have cups, which are tournaments. Anytime you hear cup, it means tournament. And then we have Champions League. And I believe fixtures for that just came out, and there's some changes in structure. We'll talk about that another time.
Well, there's been a change in structure.
Okay, but I think it more changed this year, if I read correctly. Yes. But for questions like Brad asking me, hey, Michele, will Bayern Munich play against Liverpool? That's where there's the potential for that to happen, because all of the teams that we have paired people up are all of our teams in the Champions League.
Bar from Aston Villa.
Okay, and Aston Villa qualified for the Champions League, correct?
Last season. They're in the Europa League this season.
Oh, they are. So they didn't do well enough last season to be in the Champions League this season. And so for people to understand that, whether you play in the Champions League or the Europa League or whatever the one is underneath that.
Europa Conference
League is based on how you finished last year.
Yes.
In your league. Okay.
Or if you win the Europa Conference League final, then you get promoted to Europa League.
Okay.
If you win Europa League, you get promoted to UCL.
Okay.
And if you win the UCL but you didn't qualify for the UCL, you get to stay in there.
You get to stay. So UCL means Champions, is the same thing as Champions League. So if you were in Champions League last year and you won it, but your league play wasn't good enough to be in it, you still get to stay.
Yes.
Okay. So
you take like back then you took 4th place spot. Now they take 5th place spot from whoever qualified for the 5th place.
So the thing I think is important for our participants and new people to the sport who are maybe trying to figure it all out is understanding that that's an opportunity where teams from differing leagues get to play each other.
Yes.
But besides that, if it's not happening in Champions League, you are playing people within your own league, whether it is regular scheduled league games or tournaments. But that's not entirely true. As I'm saying that out loud, if you're in the Premier League and you're playing in the FA Cup, you're going to play somebody from England. But they might be in one of the lower leagues, not in EPL. Right? Okay, so I hope that helps some of our participants understand and know as they're watching their team that those teams that are within their league, they'll be competing against, but they could potentially play against one of those other teams depending on what happens with Champions League.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And so Now let's talk real quick about how everybody's team did. Let's start with Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
They won 2-0, I believe.
Okay. I didn't see the game.
I didn't see the game either, but Chase hooked me up with this awesome app called FOTMob, and it updates me on all the games so I can follow all of our participants' games and know what the scores are, and it keeps me updated in real time. It's really nice. I really like it. So, okay, so Dortmund won 2-0. Bayern Munich won again. I can't remember the score. Do you remember?
I don't know the score.
Chase doesn't know the score.
Bundesliga, no.
But they have just been on a roll. And I texted Brad as they were winning, and I said, so far you are winning the matchup because you have picked the best team so far. Yeah. So they're doing really well. Real Madrid.
Oh, by the way, Brad and Rita will face each other because Arsenal and Bayern are facing each other in the UCL.
Oh, okay. So Rita and Josh are both Arsenal fans. Brad is Bayern Munich. So they will play each other. We know they're going to play each other in the Champions League. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get the date for the... Bless you.
Do you want to rewind that?
No, we'll just keep it.
Okay. Oh, come on. All right.
Okay, I can... So Rita and Josh are both Arsenal fans. Brad is a Bayern Munich fan, so they know they are going to play each other in Champions League. Yeah. It's been scheduled, so we'll get the game date and let them know that. Okay, perfect. Jamie's going to get her Real Madrid update from Grandma, so we won't do that. And Chase, you will update us on Barca in a little bit, so we won't do that. So on our Premier League folks, Rita and Josh, Arsenal lost to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Wah. So I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. So they lost. It was a good
really
game.
A rivalry for you.
It was a competitive game.
Yeah.
And Arsenal lost. So maybe next week they'll win.
You want to talk about the goal?
Well, I'm going to do a Liverpool update later, so we'll wait for that. I want my whole glory to talk about that. And when I do my update, I will include Carol, Abby O, and Aston Villa. Poor Abby O and Aston Villa. It's bad.
Still have yet to score.
They have not scored yet.
Not even an own goal.
No, and their uniforms still cute, but yeah, it's been a rough start for Aston Villa. What's going to happen? Is their coach under fire? Is it?
You don't want to fire Unai Emery.
I know that. I mean, under fire. I mean, are people angry with him?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
So, do your research.
I know they got spanked 3-0.
Yeah, by Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Well, what, you think I know about the Aston Villa fans?
And Crystal Palace is pretty good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Okay. So
they beat you guys.
Yes, in the
Community Shield.
Community Shield.
See, I have knowledge.
Is Community Shield a sponsor, or is that the name of the tournament?
That's what it's called.
Or the thing. And it's just one game. Okay. Just a side note there. Okay. All right. So that's an update on our matchup, people. Next week, we're going to make Chase do a little bit more research before we get to this point for our teams. And we'll talk about Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Liverpool at the end of this episode. Now it's time for our new segment that we started last week. So here's what happened with Emily and Nick, where they update us on Man United and St. Louis City. So Emily and Nick, tell us what happened.
Hi, I'm Emily.
I'm Nick.
And we're back this week to give another update on Manchester United. So what was the matchup for this week?
Our Premier League game this weekend was Manchester United at home against Burnley.
And what was the final score?
3-2 to Manchester United.
Awesome.
The final score really could have been more like 6-2 if Manchester United could finish a shot. I would say standout performer was Brian Bomo. He had a really good game, got his first goal for the team. Probably could have had a hat trick on a different day.
Yeah.
I came really close a couple different times. So he was probably the standout performer. He started off the game really strong, had a couple of shots in the, I think, like 13th and 15th minutes. Both really good shots. Again, on a different day, could have been a goal. United, it took a while to take the lead. We finally did take the lead off of an own goal, actually. So I believe for the first time in the Premier League, a team had the first 2 goals in the league scored by an own goal. Fun fact. With that said, it was a header from Casemiro that rattled the crossbar, bounced back off the crossbar, hit the defender, and then bounced in into the goal. So, bit of luck. Unfortunate for that player, but still counts the same. So United went up 1-0. United gave back a goal to Burnley to make it 1-1 before half, and then really should have had it should have been 2-1 going into half. Had another couple close opportunities right around halftime that we just couldn't finish. After halftime, we went up 2-1, gave back another goal to go 2-2. The goal was in the for United was, I believe, in the 59th minute from Bono, like I mentioned earlier. Had a really, really good little check back run at the edge of the 6-yard box and just kind of slotted past the defenders and the goalkeeper. So good goal. Good to get him on the score sheet for the season in the league.
Yeah.
We gave up another goal to go down 2-2, and then in the 91st minute, Amad Diallo drew a penalty off a tug on his jersey. They were just ripping at it.
Yeah.
It was a really stupid decision, truthfully, from the defender. Kind of lost his head for a minute. But he gave up the penalty, and Bruno Fernandes slotted home the penalty in the 96th minute to give us the win.
Yeah. So overall, a good outcome for the end of the game, unlike last Wednesday.
No comment.
No comments on that game? I don't think I've ever had more people reach out asking if he was okay. And
it was a bad game.
He was not okay.
It was a bad game. This weekend we played well and could have won by 3-4 goals. Last week's game against Grimsby Town, who, for context, is in League 2. So you have different professional divisions in English soccer. The Premier League being the top, then you have the Championship, League 1, League 2. Grimsby Town is in League 2, so they're the 4th division.
Yeah.
And I believe their total payroll is, or their total squad cost, so like how much they paid for all of the players. Right. It's about £3.1 million. I believe Manchester United's was upwards of £700 million, or upwards of £600 million, $700 million. So significant difference in squad. But Grimsby played well. They they put their heart on the field, and Manchester United players just didn't. We had a couple stupid errors that once again cost us, and particularly goalkeeping department. We just can't help ourselves, and so we drew the game 2-2. Had a couple late goals. We were down 2-0 for 2-0 for most of the game. Had a couple late goals to bring it back to 2-2, and then lost in penalty kicks. I believe 12-11, so it made its way through the entire squad taking a penalty kick, all the way to the goalkeepers. So that's tough situation. It sucks. All credit to Grimsby. They played well and gave their fans a really special moment that they'll probably remember for the rest of their lives. Because that's not something that happens every day, by any means.
So how hard is it to be a fan right now? Like, with all of this going on, like, you chose your team and you can't back out of that. Like, once you choose your team, you're set. So
it's been a rough decade at this point. Sir Alex Ferguson's last season was 2013, and we've hovered on mediocrity. Some years having better teams than others. Since then, it's just kind of part of it. We've had some good years and we've won some trophies, but since he left, we haven't ever been able to hit the same heights that we did whenever he was coach. Now, mind you, he was coach for 27 years. Pretty much unanimously the best football coach in the world ever. So it's the expectations have been high and we're set really high for fans, and we're probably paying for that many years of success. So it's been tough, but
It's just something you have to deal with.
just something you have to deal with as a fan. Yeah, you can't enjoy the good times without suffering through the bad.
Yeah. And did you want to make a comment on my mom Carol's pick of Liverpool?
I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. As a Manchester United fan, I thought she had better taste, but
It'll be a good rivalry then.
Thanksgiving will be interesting.
Yep. So while we're here, did you want to give an update on what we touched on last week with the City game and the call?
Yeah, sure. So if you may recall, last week St. Louis City played Vancouver in Vancouver, and there was a pretty controversial call from the referee in the 98th minute, I don't recall at this point, to award a penalty kick that was eventually converted by Thomas Muller. Since we spoke last, the PRO, Professional Referees Organization, which is responsible for staffing all of the referees for MLS matches and matches throughout the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
They came out and basically issued a statement, kind of a review of the call, essentially said there wasn't a clear and obvious error from the referee on field.
Mm-hmm.
His decision was, at the time, in the heat of the moment, his decision was to let play go on. PRO is saying that there wasn't a clear and obvious error in that decision, and that VAR should not have intervened, which obviously would have not resulted in a goal. And the game should have ended 2-2, according to the referees organization, and according to really anybody that is a non-biased fan of either team or of the game. Very few people on either side of the aisle are saying that it should have been a penalty call. VAR did not do its job. They are there to make sure that decisions that were clearly and obviously missed are reviewed, and the correct action is taken, and they overstepped.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because it cost St. Louis City a point. It gave Vancouver 2 extra points, which really helps them in their fight for a home playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple teams that are hovering around them in the table that, those 2 points can make the difference between them having a home playoff spot or them not having a home playoff spot, which in the MLS is a huge advantage. A lot of different people have a lot of different thoughts as to what the solution is. I don't know if there is a perfect solution, but a lot of it just stems around educating the referees and doing a better job of clarifying within the laws of the game how the review should be handled and what should be reviewed.
Thank you, Nick and Emily, for that update. It was kind of a rough week for Man United, but they did get that win on Saturday, so that was good.
Yeah. Shouldn't be scraping a win against Burnley, but...
Well, a win is a win, though, right?
3 points, yeah.
So it's a good way to start and get things turned around, hopefully. Yeah. All right. Okay, next up, it is time for the Real recap with Grandma, as she tells us everything that happened in the Real Madrid game. So I'm going to step out and give her my seat.
Okay. Welcome to the Real recap, where we will be reviewing the recent Madrid game. Also, if there are any recent transfer news since the transfer market just closed, we will see if Madrid made any departures. They didn't make any signings through the transfer window, being over. But just recent Madrid news and the recent Madrid game. So, Grandma, can you tell me how the game versus Mallorca went?
I can. Before I do that, though, I want to just give a nod to Real Oviedo because they won.
Yeah.
And they lost to us last week, but this week they won. And that is the first goal for them in Premier League. Not just this
La
year.
La Liga, you mean La Liga?
I mean, La Liga. What did I say?
It's fine. We can keep going.
Okay. Their first goal in La Liga. And not just for this year, but their first goal in 24 years with
Wow.
La Liga.
Nice.
So that
Unlike
was-
Aston Villa, they've actually scored. So.
Yes, they did actually score a goal. Now we can talk about Real Madrid, which that score was 2-1, but could have easily been 5-1 or some number in between those two,
Yeah.
as they had 3 goals recalled. 2 of them were Mbappe. He scored 5 minutes into the game, and it got called back on offsides.
Yeah.
He later had another one called back for offsides.
Yeah.
At the 37th minute, they did score. I believe it was
Arda Güler.
yeah,
Arda Güler.
Güler.
He's Turkish.
Yes, Güler scored, and 1 minute later, at 38 minutes, then Vinicius Jr. scored.
You spelled his name right. Vinicius. Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Good
learning.
job.
Vinny Jr.
Yeah.
So he scored at the 38th minute. They played pretty well.
They
But-
did struggle. I saw they did struggle a little bit in the first 20 minutes of the second half.
Yes, they did. It was slow and draggy. Later on, Guyer had another goal,
But that was
but
disallowed.
it was disallowed, and that was on the handball.
Yeah.
Which the handball did not occur at the time of the goal, but the
It
goalie
occurred in the build-up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It occurred in the build-up, and then a rebound of the ball, and he scored, but it was disallowed.
Yeah.
So 3 points for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
We're clicking right along.
Okay. Do you know of any transfer?
I do
news?
not. I
Okay.
meant to look that up, and I did not.
Because from what I've seen, I don't think there is any. So I think they didn't have any departures. They were trying to get Alaba out in this transfer window, but he's going to stay and keep his contract until it's over, and then he'll probably move to a Saudi club. But, yeah, a pretty clean transfer window for you guys. Very good one.
The only thing I would like to add is that my player, Trent Alexander-Arnold, got to start this game.
Yeah, he did.
And then he was subbed out for Danny Carvajal.
Danny Carvajal. Yeah.
Carvajal.
It's a hard name for sure. But all right, is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Well, that was the Real recap. We'll switch spots. We'll get Mom back on here, and we'll continue with the Barca and Liverpool review.
Now it's time for Chase and I to update you on how our teams did this weekend. Chase, you want to start and tell us how Barcelona did?
Yeah, we can go over the Rayo Vallecano versus Barca game. In the first half, it ended 1-0 with it being a Lamine Yamal pen. The pen is a little bit controversial. It was pretty soft, for sure. I can see a ref giving it because he does take his knee out. He does stop his knee. And that could be like a potential knee injury.
Who was the player?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Okay, all right.
But I could see a ref calling that. I think maybe under more of a review, they wouldn't give it. But they weren't able to review it because VAR wasn't working.
Okay, so I read a little bit of something I didn't quite understand. So
Yeah.
VAR was not working.
If we got better angles, maybe we could see that, yeah, it's just kind of soft. He's getting physical. There's no reason to call it a pen. But we didn't. We didn't have VAR. I don't know if it's because the stadium was in such a bad condition.
So there was no VAR the whole game?
No VAR until the 70th to 80th minute.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know if that was because the pitch was just so bad. The stadium was really bad. But we got the pen. And Lamine Yamal, he slotted it through. It was a pretty good pen. Made the keeper go the wrong way. He doesn't usually take pens. That's his first pen he's ever taken in his club career.
Okay. And so for our newer people, to clarify, even though he was the person who was fouled, he does not have to take the pen.
It's not like free throws.
It's not like free throws.
No.
Okay.
And we had a chance in the injury time of the first half for Dani Olmo. It was a rebound that went to him. And, I mean, he was in the box, in the 12-yard area. He just skied it. I don't know how the keeper was out of position. All he had to do was really just slot it in, but he skied it. We were struggling in that first half against Rayo. Joan Garcia, he had a great game.
I heard that he's the goalkeeper.
He got the man of the match.
Is he new this year?
Yeah, he's
your new signing.
He did really good. He made some big saves on the Rayo counters. They really pressed us well, and we could not get out of it most of the time, which was really worrying, because with how many technical players we have on the pitch, we should be able to, but it seemed like we were just so stressed about losing the ball. We were very clumsy with it. It very much could have been 3-0 or even 3-1 if you want to count Yamal's pen. And then in the second half, the game kind of slowed down a little bit. We got more control of it for the first 10 minutes of the game, maybe 15 minutes. We had good control of the ball. We were creating chances well. Dani Olmo also missed another chance. Beran laid it out to him. It was outside the box, but it wasn't even on target.
Okay.
And it was another one that was basically skied. So that was a pretty bad game from Dani Olmo there. And then they get the goal in the 67th minute off of us not marking the back post.
Okay.
There was this one player, I don't know his name, but he never
For
moved.
Vallecano.
Vallecano, yes.
Rav. You said
You could call him Rav.
Okay.
Yeah. And when the cross was in, there were players from outside the post that would move in, the Rayo Vallecano, but he just kind of floated back, and no one was marking him.
Okay.
He had a free open chance, and he took it really well. It bounced off the crossbar and went in.
I saw that. Yes.
So then it was 1-1, and they could have made it once again. They could have made it 3-1 in the second half. The game could have ended 6-1. The amount of chances they were creating was very scary.
You mean Rav?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Rayo.
Yeah.
We didn't create many chances.
Yes, I thought so. I only saw the second half, and they just looked super aggressive.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for Joan Garcia, so I'm mad that it was a tie, but in the end, we didn't deserve to win.
Okay.
They actually were the deserved winners.
Yes.
But it was a draw thanks to Joan Garcia. So I'm glad we actually have a good goalkeeper now.
Yeah.
For sure. So pretty disappointing. I think Hansi Flick needs to get his tactics fixed together a lot more. It just was not good. The high line was not doing well. We caught them offside a couple times, but they were really just getting through so easily.
Okay, so my time to update for Liverpool. And first of all, I wanted to update that Carol, after dating her teams and wanting some extra time to decide, has chosen Liverpool as her team. And so we took that opportunity to celebrate it a little bit. And so Carol and Brad, who is a Bayern Munich fan, but Carol's husband, the three of us went to watch the game in person and hopefully around other fans. We struggled a little bit to find some place that we could get into and that was showing it, because it was at 10:30 in the morning here in the States. But we did eventually find a place, Big Whiskey's, and so we were able to watch the game there. So it was fun. Carol had lots of good questions for me, and it made me realize we probably ought to try to watch a game in person with all of our matchup participants so they can ask us questions. But for the game itself, not a lot in the first half. It was just a lot of back and forth. Nobody scored, so it was 0-0. I think that's one of the things when watching with new fans that's hard sometimes, because you're trying to help them understand watching the game and being excited about the game. But again, as Americans, we're so used to scoring and there being scores. So as I was sitting with them, I kind of, wished there had been some scoring in the first half, but there wasn't. So in the second half, there was a penalty called, and so Szoboszlai, who I really like. I just can't say his name.
Yeah, he's Hungarian.
He's Hungarian. I watched a little documentary on him. It's actually really interesting. But he has been playing really well this year. He just seems involved a lot defensively. He was involved in the goal that Rio scored that won. So he's just really been playing well. And so he got the opportunity to take the free kick. And so the best thing about this was, I don't know how far back would you say that was? Do you know?
Like
I mean,
35 yards.
It was back from the
30
box.
yards, maybe.
And so he is lining up. I'm explaining it to Carol as we're watching, that it is a free kick and not a penalty kick, which you have taught me. And so the players are all lined up and he is back, and Carol looks at me and says, surely no one ever actually makes a kick from there. And right then he kicked it and just whooped it right in.
Just whipped it.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And so we were excited and we yelled and it was great. It was a lot of fun. Rest of the game, they held Arsenal in check, so they won 1-0. So it was exciting. As we were leaving Big Whiskies, we came outside and we wanted to take a picture together to kind of commemorate, watching the game together. And as we were taking a picture, there were fans coming out, people coming out behind us. And as they came out behind us, they were like, and when we turned around, they were Arsenal fans. Carol didn't really realize that yet. She just recognized that they were wearing kits, and so she was like, oh, and I was like, no, they were Arsenal fans. Yeah. Anyway, they were nice, and so it was fun to see other fans out watching the game. We are going to, it's one of the things that we want to do here is find some good local establishments where we can share the game with other people and go out and watch. So we'll be continuing to do that, hopefully with more of our matchup participants, and looking for additional places where we can find games from other leagues as well, so that we can maybe find somebody who is showing La Liga games or Bundesliga games. So anyway, it was a good game. We enjoyed it. A good win for Liverpool, another 3 points. Feel pretty good about where we're starting. Transfer portal. Is that the right word? Transfer window?
You mean transfer window?
Is that what I mean?
Transfer portal.
In college basketball, it's portal, and I used to work in college athletics, so that may be why that's in my head. Transfer window. So Liverpool
give the big news.
Signed Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Is it for sure a done deal?
Oh yeah, it's done
okay.
Deal. Done deal.
So super excited. I honestly think too, I work with a Newcastle fan, and we were talking about this potential move, and he actually also thought it was a good move for Newcastle to get the money for him. They have been playing really well, won a cup last year, used that money to bring in more players and make their team even better. So I think as a Newcastle fan, he was happy about it. And then obviously as a Liverpool fan, I'm happy about it.
I'm sure he's also a little sad that their main striker's gone.
Sure.
He was a big reason they won that Carabao Cup.
Yes.
And he would have been huge for the Champions League.
Yes. So I get that, but I also understand that is how you build a good team, though, when you have a good player and you are able to trade them and get other things for them. So anyway, we're excited. Welcome to Liverpool, Alexander Isak. Okay, anything else you think we ought to know? Any other trades or things that happened this week?
No.
Okay, so international break is this week.
Yep.
Is that correct? Tell us real quick what that means.
And that means all the players from club that were chosen by their national teams are going off to play like World Cup qualifiers.
Okay.
So
the news I saw that was interesting, that will interest Grandma.
Or they'll also play friendlies.
Okay.
Like the U.S. men's national team will be playing against South Korea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a World Cup qualifier, but
because the USA is already in the World Cup. Yeah. But okay, so watch that. We'll talk about that next week, about some of the national games that were played, and again, getting you ready for World Cup. The news I saw that was interesting was that Trent Alexander-Arnold was not included on the England team. So what's up with that?
Thomas Tuchel just didn't pick him. So. Okay,
so
no personal stuff.
And just because you don't play on this team at this point doesn't mean that you won't be on the national team for the World Cup, right?
Yeah, you can It's when you get picked for the World Cup.
Okay, so your national team can look different
Yes.
as you can
He's
work
probably
players
testing
in and
things.
out. Okay, and then, but when you get to the World Cup, you take your best
Yes.
players no matter what. Okay, all right. Very good, everybody. Happy International Break Week. We'll see you next week.